Imagine walking through a quiet, muddy field in modern-day France or Germany. You're scanning the ground, perhaps with a metal detector, hoping for a coin or an old buckle. Suddenly, the device beeps. You dig, and there, buried beneath centuries of dirt, you find a small, hollow object made of bronze. It has 12 pentagonal faces, each with a hole of a different size, and strange little knobs at every corner. It looks like a prop from a high-budget sci-fi movie, an ancient alien artifact, or a mysterious key to a forgotten dimension. But here is the truly mind-blowing part. Historians and archaeologists have found over 100 of these objects all over Europe. They date back to the height of the Roman Empire, nearly 2,000 years ago. And despite being one of the most advanced civilizations in human history, a culture that kept meticulous records of their taxes, their wars, their recipes, and even their gossip, the Romans left behind exactly 0 written mentions of this object. No manuals, no drawings, no names. It is as if an entire piece of their daily life was intentionally scrubbed from the history books. Today, we call them Roman dodecahedrons. We know what they are made of, we know when they were made, but we have absolutely no idea what they were for. Is it a weapon? A tool? A religious relic? Or just an ancient version of a fidget spinner that everyone eventually forgot about? Today, we're going to dive into one of the most frustrating and fascinating cold cases in the history of archaeology. To understand the mystery, we first have to look at what we are actually holding. These objects are small, usually about the size of a tennis ball. They are hollow, made of bronze, and shaped like a dodecahedron, a geometric solid with 12 flat faces. Each face is a pentagon, and almost every face has a circular hole in the middle. What's weird is that these holes are rarely the same size. One might be half an inch wide, while the one on the opposite side is nearly an inch. And at every point where the corners of the pentagons meet, there's a little round knob. They are beautiful, symmetrical, and clearly difficult to make. To cast something like this in bronze requires a high level of skill. These weren't just mass-produced junk, they were crafted with intent. Most of them have been found in the northern territories of the Roman Empire, places like Britain, Belgium, Germany, and France. Interestingly, almost none have been found in Italy or the Mediterranean heartland. This suggests that whatever they were used for, it was something specific to the colder northern provinces of the empire. The first one was discovered in 1739, and since then, the theories have been flying. Let's start with the most practical one. Were they tools? Some researchers noticed that the different-sized holes look like they could be used to measure something. Perhaps they were used to determine the thickness of pipes or the diameter of coins. If you were a Roman plumber or a metalworker, having a standardized gauge would be incredibly useful. But there's a flaw in that logic. If these were measuring tools, you'd expect them to be identical, but they aren't. Every dodecahedron found so far has slightly different measurements. The holes don't follow a universal standard. If I'm a carpenter in Roman London and you're a carpenter in Roman Paris, our dodecahedrons wouldn't agree on the size of a pipe. That makes them pretty bad as official measuring tools. So, if they weren't for measuring, what about something more domestic? A few years ago, a theory went viral on the internet that actually made a lot of sense. A woman posted a video showing how she could use a 3D printed replica of a Roman dodecahedron to knit the fingers of woolen gloves. By hooking the yarn around the knobs and passing it through the holes, she created a perfect, seamless glove finger. It fits the geography perfectly. Remember, these objects are mostly found in the cold north, where people actually needed gloves. You don't need woolen mittens in the sunny streets of Rome, but you definitely need them on the rainy borders of Hadrian's Wall. It's a brilliant theory, and it makes the dodecahedron a very humble, cozy object. But archaeologists are skeptical. There's no evidence of threadwear or textile fibers found on the ancient bronze. Plus, why make such a complex, expensive bronze object for something you could do with a simple wooden frame? If it wasn't for work or warmth, maybe it was for the mind. Could it be a game? Humans have been playing with dice for thousands of years. The Romans loved gambling. Maybe they threw these objects and earned points based on which hole landed face up. Or maybe they were used in a game of skill, like trying to toss a stick through the holes, a sort of ancient kendama. It's possible, but again, bronze was expensive. Using a high-quality bronze casting as a child's toy or a common gambling die seems a bit like using a gold-plated iPhone to skip stones across a pond.
This leads us into deeper, darker territory, the world of magic and religion. The Roman Empire was a place of high philosophy, but also deep superstition. People believed in omens, perhaps to protect them from invaders or to offer them to the gods. Another fascinating theory suggests they were astronomical instruments. By looking through the holes at different angles, a farmer could potentially track the path of the sun to determine the exact date of the spring or autumn equinox. In an age before digital calendars, knowing exactly when to plant your winter grain was the difference between life and death. If you align the holes with the sun, the light might hit a specific point only on a certain day of the year. This would make the dodecahedron a high-tech pocket calendar for the ancient world. However, recent studies have tested this, and the results are mixed. While some dodecahedrons work for tracking the sun, others don't. Again, the lack of standardization is the killer. If it's an astronomical instrument, it has to be precise. So, where does that leave us? We have an object that is too varied to be a gauge, too expensive to be a toy, too regional to be an official Roman standard, and too mysterious to be mentioned in any book.
Maybe we're looking at it wrong. Maybe the dodecahedron wasn't for anything in the way we think. Some historians have suggested it was a masterpiece project. Imagine you're a young bronze smith apprentice. To prove to the Guild of Smiths that you are a master of your craft, you are given a challenge. Cast a hollow sphere with 12 faces and knobs and make sure the bronze is thin and perfect. If you could pull it off, you got your license to open your own shop. The dodecahedron might have just been a diploma, a way to show off your skills to potential customers. Look at this complex object I made. If I can do this, I can definitely make your sword or your statue. It's also possible it was a status symbol, something you kept on your desk to look smart and wealthy, a conversation starter for when your neighbors came over for wine. Oh, that's just a geometric representation of the cosmos. Very exclusive. You wouldn't understand. The mystery of the Roman dodecahedron is a humbling reminder that we don't know as much about the past as we think we do. We have the ruins of the Colosseum, the poems of Virgil, and the statues of emperors, but we've lost the meaning of a simple object found in over 100 locations. It shows us that history is full of silent objects, things that were so common or so secret that no one bothered to write them down. Today, new dodecahedrons are still being found. Just recently, one was discovered in a small village in England, sitting in a pit of 4th century trash.
Each new find gives us a little more data: the type of soil, the objects buried nearby, the chemical composition of the metal. But for now, the dodecahedron remains the ultimate historical puzzle. It's a cold bronze challenge from the past, sitting in museum display cases, mocking us with its perfect symmetry. It tells us that 2,000 years from now, archaeologists might dig up our world and find something we use every day, maybe a pop socket or a specific type of charging cable, and spend decades arguing about whether it was a religious relic or a component of a spacecraft. What do you think? Was it a knitting tool, a secret magical device, or just a way for an ancient craftsman to flex his skills? The answer is out there, perhaps still buried in the mud of a European field, waiting for the next person to hear that lucky beep of a metal detector. Until then, the Roman dodecahedron remains a beautiful, hollow secret, a 12-sided ghost of an empire that thought it had recorded everything.